Hi, my name's Steve Burgess, your computer forensics specialist. Today's topic is keyword searches. What is a keyword search and how do I design an effective one? Well, a keyword search in its most basic form is looking for a word in a population of data. More often, it's looking for a series of words or a phrase in a population of data. Now, for instance, suppose I've got 1,000 Word documents on a computer and 5,000 emails, and I want to find a letter to mom talking about, say, being home for Christmas. Well, then I might search for the phrase home for Christmas because that's likely to be in that document or in that email, and it's not likely to be in too many places other than, say, a Frank Sinatra song. Now, it's more likely we're going to be searching for something like stolen secrets. So what I want to do is distinguish for you between electronic data discovery and computer forensics. They cover much the same ground. Usually with electronic data discovery, what we're doing is searching a readable population of data. So say a bunch of emails that the user would be able to read on their computer or that's on a server, or a bunch of Word documents that haven't been deleted. Then we might be looking there for, the phrase stolen secrets, or in the previous case, home for Christmas. Now, with computer forensics, we're looking quite a bit deeper. We're looking into areas where there used to be files, where there are leftover pieces of files. We're looking through the entire hard disk, all the unallocated space, all the ambient data, all even the places where there isn't anything. I cover some of this ground in another video called Recovering Deleted Email and What Happens When I Delete a File. Those are two different videos. But we are going to be looking for, again, the same kinds of words, and then we might find a whole deleted document or a whole deleted email, or maybe just a piece of one. We might find it in a temporary internet file, or we might find it in a temporary deleted invisible file. But it's very, very likely we're going to find the information if it was there before. Now, there are some phrases and words that are good to use and some that are not so good to use. Home for Christmas, in my previous example, is probably a good one because, as I said, it's not going to occur in too many places. But home or Christmas, those are not very, very useful words to be looking for because they're going to occur in so many different places. They'll be in dictionaries, and they will be in random emails, and they'll be in jokes, and they'll be in all kinds of temporary files as well. So we want to be fairly specific. We also want to keep the number of searches down. Generally, we'd like to start with 6 or a dozen phrases and variations of them. That'll give us a very large population of data, generally, sometimes hundreds of thousands of entries that we're going to have to sort through, or that you are going to have to sort through. Anything that's 4 letters or less is very likely to turn up tens of thousands of, or maybe hundreds of thousands of completely unrelated times, because almost all 4-letter combinations are going to show up randomly in computer code. So it's not very useful to search for anything fewer than 4 letters. Searching for IBM, not a very good idea. Searching for IBM Corporation may be a better idea. We also generally don't want to look for the user's name, the person who uses the computer most often, for their name or their email address, because again, it's going to show up with tens of thousands, literally tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of hits that are going to have to be sorted through. So we want to be a little smarter about the way we design the keywords rather than just looking for everything that the user ever did. We want to, as I said, limit the number of keywords that we're looking for because sometimes the number can get out of hand. I had a case not long ago where we searched just 2 hard drives from 2 computers, one from each computer, and they needed us to search on 134 different keywords, and we had variations on those keywords. How many hits did we get? How many results were there? 1 million. 500,000 on each drive. It takes a very, very, very long time to search through 1 million results of anything. And I believe it took us about 40 hours, and we had streamlined the process quite a bit. Now, it turns out that they won over $100 million in that case. So in that case, it was worthwhile. But most of the time, we want to make a smart design for keyword searches that is very focused, fairly exclusive, but broad enough to catch as many things as can be useful to the case at hand. Well, thanks very much for listening. I hope that was useful, and we'll talk to you another time. Keep your questions coming. Bye now.